As you may have heard, we recently lost David Lynch at the age of 78. For film lovers, Lynch needs no introduction. But for the uninitiated, he was more than a filmmaker. He was an architect of dreams and nightmares, a director, writer, and artist whose surreal, haunting style left an incredible mark on cinema. With films like Eraserhead from 1977, Blue Velvet from 1986, and Mulholland Drive from 2001, as well as the cult classic television show Twin Peaks, he solidified his place as one of the greatest auteurs in history. Lynch wasn't just a director. He was a character in his own right. Charming, elusive, and always enigmatic. He rarely explained his films, preferring to let them speak in riddles. He didn't just tell stories. He wove mysteries, inviting audiences to interpret them on their own.
We'll elaborate on that.
No, I won't.
And I have a confession to make. I respect Lynch immensely, but I was never his biggest fan. I never watched Twin Peaks, barely remember Blue Velvet, and Eraserhead left me more confused than enlightened. But there is one Lynch film that has always stayed with me my entire life. A film that served as my gateway drug into his world. Dune from 1984. David Lynch's Dune was his first and only true action epic. His attempt to bring Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi masterpiece to the screen. The cast was stacked. Kyle MacLachlan, Francesca Annis, Patrick Stewart, Kenneth McMillan, and even Sting. It had all the makings of a classic, but the road to Dune was anything but smooth. Lynch lost creative control, critics tore it apart, and he ultimately disowned it. I first saw Dune sometime in the early 90s on the Sci-Fi Channel. As a kid, I was captivated. The sandworms were massive, the Harkonnens were grotesque, and Paul Atreides was the kind of hero I could root for. It was the anti-Star Wars, and I loved every second of it. But as the years passed, the film faded from my memory. Until now.
Father, the sleeper has awakened!
With Lynch's passing, I decided to revisit it. Would it still hold up? Would it be the mesmerizing, bizarre spectacle I remembered? Or would it collapse under modern scrutiny? To my surprise, I was blown away. The practical effects, the intricate sets, the surreal atmosphere, it was all still there, and it was alive. Sure, the performances were melodramatic, but they had energy, style. Kyle MacLachlan's Paul Atreides was compelling. The Harkonnens were gloriously unhinged. And Sting, well, he was Sting. But what stood out to me the most this time was how much soul Lynch's Dune has. It's weird, undeniably weird, but in the best possible way. A kind of weirdness that modern films just don't embrace anymore. Then I did something dangerous. I rewatched Denis Villeneuve's Dune films back to back. And let's be clear, Villeneuve is a master. His adaptation is sweeping, gorgeously shot, and brilliantly acted. Stellan Skarsgård's Baron Harkonnen is chilling. The cinematography is breathtaking, but something felt missing. Lynch's Dune was a fever dream, bold, colorful, unapologetically strange. Villeneuve's version, while a technical masterpiece, felt too serious, too restrained. No pugs, no battle pugs, no royal pugs, no flying pugs, no pugs at all. No over-the-top inner monologues, no grotesque slug-like guild navigators floating in giant tanks of spice gas. That's peak Lynchian absurdity, and I love it. I realized something. While Villeneuve's Dune is a superior film, Lynch's Dune is alive. It has verve, character. It may not have won over critics. Hell, even Lynch himself tried to distance himself from it. But in my book, it wins. And you know what? I've heard Lynch softened on it over the years. Maybe it was the cult following. Maybe it was the fans who told him how much it meant to them. Whatever the reason, I like to think He understood that, despite the chaos, he created something special. So, to David Lynch, thank you. You gave us something truly one of a kind. And no matter what the critics, or even you, thought, this will always be my David Lynch movie. It will always be my Dune.
Father, the sleeper has awakened!
This is Derek Scarzella. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching or enduring. If you're feeling generous or even just mildly entertained, please like, subscribe, and comment to support the channel. I know you've got opinions. Don't even try to deny it. Drop them in the comments. Argue with me. Argue with each other. You are officially invited to engage in glorious internet combat. You can also find me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Instagram's awkward little brother, and the granddaddy of them all, Facebook. Oh, and while I've still got your attention, my novels The Vicious Game and Knuckle Crack Bone are up on Amazon. They're unapologetically gritty, punch-you-in-the-face crime stories with rave reviews. If you give them a shot, I'd be honored. Thank you again for watching. Rest well, hero. You're home.